Hello, hello. Happy Thursday evening. Almost at the weekend. For some of us lucky enough like me, I don't have to work tomorrow. So it is the start of the weekend. I had to ditch my expensive mic for tonight because for whatever reason, there's crackling and static. And I just don't care anymore. So you get me on the Razer headset, which actually has a really nice mic. And it just works, you know? So, a couple new things. So we're back in Attingham. I have played quite a bit of Farming Simulator since last Thursday. Again, and it had been a while, so I had to refamiliarize myself with a lot. And realized I made a lot of mistakes last week in particular. Added a bunch of add-ons, many more mods, spent lots of time on things, hooked up my track IR. I'm using an entire control system using the Hori Farming Simulator or Farm and Vehicle Control System, as well as my SimPanel button box, which I usually use for trucking, but it's kind of handy for some of the things here. I actually need to add more things to that. Yes, and with that in mind, I'm going to be reviewing that for Shacknews here in a few weeks or so. The Hori Farm Vehicle Control System. I quite like it. It's essentially, I mean, I'm using it right now like a game controller. Works really well. So it has made, in my experience, my limited experience playing this, it has made things feel a lot more enjoyable. So, with that in mind, we were doing contracts. Let's actually take a look at what we were doing. And let's start by realizing our very first mistake. This is a difficult map. That was mistake number one. This map starts you off with hardly any starting equipment. There's a little. We own a car, a pickup truck. That's what we own. This harvester I bought last week. Huge mistake. So first thing we're going to do is, well, actually not the first thing. We're going to finish our current contract, and then we're going to sell that harvester because we don't need it. We're not even using it because the header doesn't fit on it, if I remember correctly from last week. So on this map, yeah, you actually own a little bit of land. You own one field down here, field 35, and you own the land that surrounds the BGA. But that doesn't really help us much. These vehicles here, I guess they're part of the BGA. We might be able to use them, but they're not ours. We can see if we can use this actually for the next contract. So that might be interesting because we committed ourselves to a contract which I think we're just going to ignore. And we're going to do something more profitable. The goal from here on out, now that I am a little bit smarter, is to purchase, I believe it's the Brompton farmhouse. Yes, this is the one we're going to buy. It fits because it's right next to our field that we already own. So this includes field 34, and it looks like it also includes field 36 and 51. I'm not sure. I don't know what the 51 here means. Why is this 51? In any case, we're going to buy this at some point, but we need $213,200. We have just under 10,000, so we've got a ways to go. The good news is that our current contract does pay us very little, 11,000. But there is this baling contract here for 45,000, And there's another harvesting one for 35. I thought there was some more. We'll see. There will be a few other ones, but we definitely want this one here for field 42. So we'll get to that. But let's finish off this one here. I think we're going to skip this baling one. It's just not enough money. It's not gonna make us enough. It's not going to get us close enough to our goal here. So, but we will finish our current contract, and this is our lovely pickup truck. As you can see, it's blue. Totally didn't realize that this was ours, so it's here now. Oh, I need to change the setting. Some of these settings did not carry across between different games, which understandable. Where is it? Where is it? Where is it? I'm going to change this to 3 times. Autosave, that's fine. Seasonal growth, 1 day a month. Yep, that's fine, that's fine, that's fine. Crop destruction, we'll keep that on. I'm going to turn stones and weeds off. We might turn them on later, but it's too much right now. Automatic engine start, I don't want that. There we go. I do want the trailer fill limit. I think that's kind of fun. Normal fuel usage. And that's it. This way we can actually turn some of these off. Okay. Yeah, see, it does let us switch over to these guys down by the VGA, so that's good. We can use this. We can use this other tractor. Here's where we were working. Field's almost done, so we're gonna just knock this out of the park here and get this finished. I also feel like okay, no, the radio is correct. It only works when it's running. Using track IR so I can look around the cabin, which is nice. I'm not entirely sure why whenever I turn over my left shoulder I see myself, when I turn over my right shoulder I don't. But that's good to know actually, so when I want to look behind me I'll look over my right shoulder. And let's see if can we get like a... I don't actually know if we should be having these radio stations on or not. Presumably keep something quiet. Alright. What are we? We're already set up. Okay, good. So we'll turn around. We'll get the rest of this field here harvested. Actually, maybe we'll back up. Get a good old beacon on. So let's go down to the end and get this all sorted. So this contract's already 80% done, so this really shouldn't take us that much longer. And that one over there we can sell. I don't know why I bought that. I don't know. I'm gonna just we're just gonna plead ignorance. We also did not I guess we're not bailing this field. It's not ours, so it doesn't matter. We just had to harvest it. Nope. Wrong button. I'm not going to mess with any GPS thing. It's such a small thing here. We can just kind of play this one by eye. I think we can eyeball it. It pulls to the left. It's weird. Maybe it's just my imagination. It's going to be kind of tricky at the edge there, so we'll swing back around. Do you remember correctly? Yeah, the rest of the field is all... Oh, no, it's not quite finished. There's a bunch over there that we left. Okay. Well, we'll get this little nook here tidied up. If I remember correctly, the contracts, you don't actually have to do like 100%. You just have to get close. Oh, look at that. So yeah, I've noticed that playing this with an actual wheel is a lot more fun. Which I should have remembered because I've done it before. I've done it with my Logitech G27, I think. That's what my old wheel is. But I actually like this Hori wheel much better for farming because it has two joysticks on it, so it kind of functions as a game controller as well, which is great when you just want to jump out of the vehicle and walk around. So I don't really have to touch from my mouse. The only time I really have to reach from my mouse and keyboard is when I don't remember what some of the button combinations are in the controller or on the wheel. But I'm getting used to the sort of remembering the basic ones so that I don't have to actually ever go down there. And then track IR really just adds to it because otherwise you're just it's not as critical when you're driving around, even though you can see, like, I'm looking over to the edge there because I want to make sure that I'm not doing what I'm doing there, which is missing a whole section. Obviously my eyesight's not that great from in here either. This Hori wheel, it does not have force feedback, which you might think is a downside. It's pretty pricey, so I can see why. But honestly, the force feedback in Farm Sim is not great. So you're really not missing out on anything, and you don't have to fight with it. But it has it does spring back to the center quite easily, and that actually is very helpful. Because it does have, I think, 900-degree turning radius, so you kind of spin it around quite a bit, and having it automatically return to center with a reasonable amount of force is pretty good. It's also angled differently, right? Most of my racing wheels are angled relatively vertical, at least that's what they are, whereas this one is angled, I don't know what that angle is. It's like maybe 30 degrees upwards only, instead of close to 90 on a racing kind of wheel. So it's much flatter, much more similar to what it actually would be inside of one of these machines. And that actually makes it a lot more comfortable. It comes with a little steering knob thing. You just hold on to that, spin it around. It's way more in line with this sort of chill atmosphere I enjoy about Farm Simulator. And it comes with a second piece, which is like a joystick and a whole bunch of more buttons that I haven't played around with too much. I've done a little bit of button changing on that. Seriously? I'm gonna leave that one little stock there. I can't have that. Gone. One little grain. Yeah, so it makes a big difference. I highly recommend if you have a wheel of any kind and you're playing Farm Sim and you really want to, and you're really enjoying it. It's a bit more effort to get it all set up and stuff, of course. It's really convenient just to pick up your mouse and keyboard or your game controller because it's mostly always there. But this does make it a big difference. Especially if you enjoy driving from inside the cabin, which I don't always do on the fields. I feel like doing the field work is oftentimes easier from the external camera. But if you're driving somewhere in town, or sometimes I actually find backing up more easily done from the inside perspective than from the outside. So we should be able to get this contract finished in this season. That's my goal. We wasted a lot of time last week, obviously, as I said. But it's August, it's our first season. It is 1847. So it's getting close to, the sun's starting to go down here on us. just do our best. I think once we reach the end of this field here, the top there, I'm going to hire a worker and switch over to... Actually, no, I shouldn't. I should really be saving money. No workers when I can do it. I am just going to go ahead and turn off the radio, though, because it is... it's getting a little bit annoying. I really like that they include online radio streams that you can listen to, which I usually do. But I don't want to do that here on Twitch. I don't know how Twitch handles it. I think it plays, you know, regular radio music. So don't want to get in trouble. But the default radio, it's all right, but it doesn't quite fit what I like to listen to. I think we can make it to the end before we fill this up, so that we can easily empty into the trailer. I'm not sure. Doesn't look like it. And in all honesty, this was probably enough for us to complete this contract without having to do it all, because this will be a whole nother wagon full, and that we could then... Oops, button. We'll take a quick look at what the contract says here. 88%. Well, so I don't know. If we deliver that, it might be enough. It might not be enough. Let's see how full this fills up our trailer here. Oh, we're not... Okay, we got lots of room. That's barely 36% full, and we are now empty. Okay, so we can do... We'll do the rest of the field. Might as well do it right. We did so much wrong last week. Let's try to do things right this week. Cruise control on, keep my foot at rest, because this Ori Farm vehicle control system comes with pedals as well. The pedals are probably my least favorite part of this thing. They're really lightweight. They feel fine for this. I don't really want like a lot of resistance or anything, but they slide all over the place, which makes it a little bit awkward. I have hardwood, so that probably makes it even worse, but I don't have much faith that it would be much better on carpet. They're just really light, and the base is plastic, so there's just not a lot holding it in place there, no matter where you put it. So it's not really surprising. But they do still really add to the feeling of things too. But when it comes this long, every once in a while, just, you know, this is why there's cruise control, so that we can just push a button and sit back, and when we do our next full field of whatever that may be, it's probably going to be cutting some grass. I think I'll be using the GPS system so that we can not even have to worry about keeping the lines, and just guide us automatically. That may be why I bought that harvester, from what I recall now, actually, is so that we'd have the GPS on it. But if that's the case, I'm not going to sweat it either. There is that one tractor down by the BGA, which I think we can drive. Oh, I know we can drive it. I don't know if we can customize it or not. Not looking to really find out about that today. Just gonna focus on making money in this episode this week. It's all about making money. Because I thought about actually giving up on this map because it is quite difficult. You don't have a farm that you start out with. You don't have any equipment really that you start out with other than your pickup truck. And I already blew $93,354 on various stuff that I don't actually need. I mean, I will need eventually, but now was not the time to buy it. So that little ding, by the way, is a nice little mod that makes that sound when the harvester is at 50% full. And I believe at 90 or maybe 80% it's going to make another sound, and it should turn on the beacon, which is, by the way, why I've turned it off. There's my button box to turn on some lights. Don't really need them yet. But it is getting dusk here, that's for sure. So it looks, oh, it just barely fits. I'm going to leave the little sliver there. I'm not going to be a perfectionist here. It's not my field. It's just a contract. Then we'll get this unloaded. We'll get it delivered to British Grain. We'll take what little money we can get. We'll probably go to sleep until September, and then we'll tackle the next job. I don't know if I should. We'll see. I might take the contract, the $46,000 contract, before we go to sleep, just so that we don't lose it. I'm not entirely sure when the contracts refresh. It might be at the every new season. See, there you go. There is another alert sound that we're at 80%, and the beacon is now on. This is more handy really for when it's an AI worker, because you can see from a distance that, hey, this combine is in need of having somebody empty it. And I just switched this to a worker so that we can multitask a little bit here. Make our way over there so that we can unload, because that thing's going to be full any second now. Full? That'll be full. This is a nice big trailer, actually. Big for what I've had experience with. Yeah, AI Worker 1 has a full grain tank. So once this guy starts moving again, I'll have a look, and I suspect we will probably be okay. I don't think we'll need to finish this a little bit. We'll probably just let the AI Worker go at this point, because I don't think we're going to need him. Shut this off, and let's head down. Let's have a quick look at the map. 93%, I'm pretty sure that last 7% is going to get us across. British Grain, we went there last time. Took us a while to figure out how to unload. I just need to refamiliarize myself. We're here. I think we can take this trail back here. We go past the header trailer, which I'm sure I've placed neatly in our way. I don't think we can drive this way. That would be much nicer. Maybe we can. Does it look like we can drive through there? Kinda does. Let's try it. This is quite a long trailer. This looks like a road. Yeah. Okay, I think that'll take us out to the road much more directly than having to go through that farm on our left there, because it's pretty tight in there. go. So road. Oh, this thing has signal stalks as well, which is super nice. Oh, 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 careful, buddy. Look out. I've got a long trailer here. And I have to remember to drive on the left side of the road. Only downside of those signal stalks, they're really nice, but they don't seem to automatically stop signaling when you've completed the left turn. I don't know if Farm Sim is to blame for that or the hardware is to blame for that. That's my minor gripe with that, and this is of course a super immersive type of feature that, you know, nobody's gonna blame you if you don't use your signal in Farm Sim, but I will tell you that having it on the actual wheel, where it is in real life, makes it significantly more fun to use than when you're just pushing a button on a controller, or even worse, a keyboard. Looks like we're timing this just right to hopefully complete this contract here before nightfall. I also played around with Reshade, which is a shader add-on for PC to kind of tweak the colors a little bit, give them a bit more pop. I found a few profiles, picked one that I think I like. It makes for some pretty nice sunsets, and yeah, it just makes colors pop a little bit more. And a bunch of mods around making dirt more realistic and all kinds of stuff. It's crazy. The mod hub is just full of things. Many of them are available for consoles as well, which is nice. The roads are so narrow here on British maps. I've been playing on my non-Shacknews stream time on a Canadian farm map called Bloomfield, which I quite enjoy as well. I'm making plenty of mistakes on that one as well, but every time I play, I learn a bunch, so that's been really good. But the roads sure are significantly wider on North American maps than they are in Europe, which is, you know, of course, realistic and appropriate, but does represent different challenges, especially when you're hauling some rather large equipment. This trailer is actually not bad. It's not very wide, so it actually works just fine, but there's some stuff. I transported a direct drill the other day that was essentially as wide as the road, both lanes. Alright, now I gotta try to remember where British Grain is. I think it's in here. Hopefully they work late. So yeah, for some reason I actually find it much easier to drive in first person, like in the cab view, especially when it comes to making tighter turns and things like that. Maybe it's because of all the time I've spent in Truck Simulator. It's going to be fun. I still suck at it. It feels very different backing up in this game than it does in the various truck simulators I've played. Let's see, don't I have some more lights? There we go. All the lights, please. Yeah, I think the thing that is the biggest challenge is this is the one time I still use the mouse, because the right thumbstick on the wheel does allow me to move the camera, but I find it very difficult to do so when you're also at the same time trying to back up a trailer. So I find it in this case it's actually, because it's obviously it's on the wheel, so it moves. Whereas right now I can just use my right hand on the mouse, move the camera, and adjust it accordingly. Come on, we've almost got it lined up here. There we go. Oh, we got it. You know what? That's not as embarrassing as I feared it was going to be. Slowly getting better. Clearly I need to play more Truck Simulator. Tip site back. See, sometimes, so this is you. If I switch back to this, it doesn't show up, which is, oh no, it does. Start overloading. There we go. This should complete our contract. I hope. I really don't want to go back in the dark and like cut down 3 stems of grain. Contract on field 14 finished, plus 5,786 harvest income. Now, jumping out of that, that's mine. That's my pickup. That's my truck. Okay, so we've... Oh no, we still have access to... Interesting. I wonder how long we get to hold on to that equipment for. That's completed. Lease cost. Total 9,800. Is that how much we actually earned? Yeah, we did. Okay. No, we did not. We only earned like 6,000. How do we... Oh, collect. There we go. There's the contract. Oh, we got to actually... We got the... Interesting. We got paid for the harvest? Even though it was from the contracted field? Now we don't have access to the vehicles anymore. That makes sense. Here's our pickup. So we do have this John Deere. We have this... What is this thing? Front-end loader type thing. And we have the dreaded harvester that I don't know what to do with. I guess keep for now. Maybe. We should really sell it, actually. Let's go do that right now. See if we can sell this thing. How much can we get? 70,000. I think we bought it for 75, so we got a little bit of a loss here, but yep, let's sell that. So we are... Let's get out of the car. A flashlight on because it's dark. We're at the hotel. This is where we live. We have 95,790. So we've done a contract, and we're 5,000 bucks in the hole from where we started. That sounds about right. This is our sleep spot here. We're going to sleep, and we'll just check to see what the contracts are like tomorrow or next month, next season. I do like to get up early though. It's September, so the sun's not going to be up too early, so maybe 7 o'clock's okay. It just gives us more time to do things during the day. Still need the flashlight, but the sun is up, so you know it's not too bad. Is it? Okay, that's the wind. I thought it was raining. I was like, oh no. I do like the sounds coming from, like, the hotel. I feel like people are having a nice breakfast or something. So, contracts. Okay, this is still available, the $45,000 baling contract. Mow the grass in field 42. Let's have a quick look at that. Field 42. Oh, it's a big field. Okay. Then bale the grass and wrap it to make silage bales. Take the bales to the biogas plant. Okay. We're going to have to lease the equipment because we have a tractor, but we don't have any of the other stuff here. So they're going to give us a mower, 2 tractors, a baler, a wrapper. That's too bad it's not all in one. And the picker-upper thing. I don't even know if we need... yeah, I guess we would need that to then pick up the bales. Do they not give us a trailer? Like how are we going to haul it? I guess we'll see. All right. Is there a way to cancel a contract? I'm going to cancel this contract. Yes. Actually, you know what? I'm going to keep it for now because it's the least crappy other contract out there. So worst case, if nothing else happens, we can always... I think we can actually renew contracts, get new ones. But lease cost. Oh, okay. You can tweak it. Huh. That probably won't help us with this current one. But let's maybe make our thing... let's give ourselves a little bit of a break here, just for a while, because this is a difficult map, as I said. Okay, let's have a quick look at what we have available now. There's our pickup. That's ours, that's ours. Here is the mower. I have never used this, so this could be fun. I know how it works, so you've got a mower, blades in the front, 2 on the sides. So that's really what we're going to start with. Then we have another John Deere. Does it have anything on it? Nope, nothing special. We have a JCB Fast Track. This thing looks pretty cool. It does have a front weight if we need it. And that's pretty much it. All the other ones are, of course, attachments. So we're really just going to be working on this for now. And just a real quick look at the map again. I think we're basically going to go almost the way that we usually drive. Except we're not going to go quite as far. So just past the fishing club and then left and over to field 42. Let's do it. Probably want the beacon on. This thing's huge. Every time I drive one of these big things on a small road, I feel like we should have beacons on, as in, please get out of our way because we can't get any smaller. Give way to us, please. Not the other way around. This thing's pretty speedy, actually. Well, not really. Feels quite nimble. That's a nice car. Hey, it's another one. I swear, I don't know, there's got to be an option somewhere to invert. I actually need to check this real quick. I've checked this before. There has to be an option to change the camera. I know there is inverting vertical axis. I want to invert the horizontal axis. Not the y-axis. The x-axis. I gotta look. There's probably a mod for that. Because 98% of the time, I want to swing the camera to the left. I do it the wrong way around on the stick, and I think that's because Flight Sim, it's the opposite way. So I just get myself confused. Move that to the left. Yeah, it's the same as the mouse. The mouse is fine, but I do it the wrong way there too. So it just doesn't feel natural to me. So I think I just need to figure out a way to flip that around. Selected work mode, wide spreading. I'm going to have to look at that briefly and see what that means. Because I know one of the main challenges with cutting grass is not the cutting part, but it's the gathering up of the grass. And we need to bale it, so we want to leave a nice trail that we can then pick it up. And the less lines we have to pick up, the faster that process will be. So if there are different options here, perhaps, I don't know. We didn't get a windrower. Those are usually used to like combine multiple lines of grass into a single one to make it quicker, then more efficient to pick things up. But yeah, I'm unsure of what the selected work mode means and whether or not wide spreading is a good thing or a bad thing. I'm not entirely sure. So we'll just have to see. So I think this is the road we want to take. And then it's not this first field here on the left, it should be the second one. I mean, we'll just be looking for a big grass field. This is it here on the left, and I think for this one, can we go in there? There's an entrance. I think we are going to want to do some GPSing, but we're going to do some headlands first. We'll just do those manually. That's a big field. This could be the whole episode, is just mowing this field, to be quite honest. Let's see, unfold the mower. We'll do that first so we get a better sense of how wide we get here. And then it's just turning on the mower, but I don't know how to change the work mode, and I don't... Okay, let's see. So this is one thing. Control Y, toggle work mode. Don't see that in here. For some reason, it is not an option, so I'm not entirely sure why that changes so much. Swath dropping. Left swath, right swath, wide spreading. Okay. I have no idea what the differences are. Well, I mean, don't know exactly what the differences are, so let's do a little test. For some reason that never works. 6 buttons. Oh, there we go. Lower mower. There we go. Now it's all down. Let's see what this does. It's cutting, but it's leaving them as these wide spread swaths. Okay. So if we change that to swath dropping, let's see what that does. That leaves the trail in the center. I think this is what I want. Left swath, I'm assuming it all comes out on... Oh, okay. Oh, it does both. Okay, no, we want swath dropping because I think we want to bail it all up. And I think the more we bail up, the more money we're going to make. Alright, that's the theory I'm going with, so we're going to try that. One of the challenges with grass fields is you can't really tell. I have no idea where the field actually ends here, because... Well, it doesn't really, you know, grass is grass. So we'll just make our own little line here, and I think I saw the setting in the contract. It's like 94% is really all that we need to complete. Why Twitch? Why is it so difficult? There. Thank you. We'll make our own little headline here, and I think that should be good enough. If we miss a little bit on the outskirts there, I don't think it's going to be a problem. It's actually driving pretty quick. Looks like 25 is the max in a straight line here to when we're mowing. It's not too bad. So it's a nice day for mowing. Once we complete one headland here, we're going to just have a quick look at the progress of the contract to make sure we've made a dent, so we know we're doing the right thing. I turn the camera in the wrong direction every time, 100% without fail. You'd think that with me being 100% wrong, I would eventually be right just by changing my... Nope, wrong again. So, I have to figure out how to fix that. There's got to be a mod for that. We can actually also just check the map to see if we're... how we are looking here as far as getting to the edge of the field appropriately. Okay, so that means we ran off the field a little bit there. That's good, that gives us a little bit of a warning. So we know we're not totally off. 42, it is... I guess you can't actually tell. Okay. %. Alright, we're on the right track. We're on the right track. And you know, the one nice thing about mowing is that it doesn't go anywhere. You have no combine or anything to fill up that you need to worry about unloading. You're just leaving it all in the field for now, and then of course there will be work involved in gathering it all up and baling it and all that stuff. But at least this first pass is pretty painless. So I think now we're gonna actually I'll do a second headland. Let's do a second row so that we have lots of room to maneuver when we start using GPS. I could practically smell the fresh cut grass in the morning dew from the camera. I have now turned, ever since I started talking about it, I've turned the camera in the wrong direction every time without fail. I thought I was exaggerating a little bit, but apparently not. Whoops. It's just a contract. Do we have GPS on this? It seems like we might. When I see the icon, I think that's an indicator that we do, but I don't quite recall. Yes, we do. Excellent. It'll just make it a bit easier because I think we're going to end up with more straight lines than I'm doing here at the moment. My lines are, for the most part, all over the place, especially around the turns. So now that we've got this headland almost done, we're going to end up with nice, straight GPS-assisted lines to pick up and then wrap. It's fun. I've done baling in my practice, if you will, over the last few days. I have not done any wrapping, so I'm looking forward to that. Ah, son of a gun. That's one downside. If you slip on the wrong button, you're going to switch vehicles. Which is, of course, a super handy thing to do, unless you do it wrong. Okay, so we're going to straighten this out. Perfect. Now, let's turn this up for a second, lift these up. Let's get our GPS here set up. I think this seems like a good straight line here. So we are going to get the lines on, set a guidance point. Did that work? There we go. Let's drive forward at least 25 feet or so. 25 meters. Set another one. Excellent. We've got our line set up. Now, lower the mower, turn it on. GPS steering on. Cruise control. And we're off and we're laughing. Oh, this is just the most valuable mod. If you don't want to hand off control completely to an AI, this is the best. And then we can turn the HUD off and we can really... Well, that was the HUD button, sorry. Just disable the HUD and start taking screenshots. Because we really get to enjoy the view. Only thing we got to do at the end is turn her around, push a button. We're ready to go again. I should probably assign GPS steering toggle to a hardware button. I'm going to do that here at the edge of the field. So I'm going to go to the settings here real quick. Game controls, GPS stuff is further down here somewhere. Is it toggle? I think it's this one. I want that button. Hori Farming Controller Panel Button 12. Get ourselves turned around. It goes bleep bleep because it's no longer activated. Should still show us the lines though. No? The whole thing... Oh, it's because I turned the HUD off. That's right. It also turns off those lines, of course. And... Also, it was the wrong button. Sorry, not the wrong button, but the wrong one. So look, there's GPS guiding, steerance guiding, and this one, and I always get them mixed up. There we go. Tiny overlap on the lines, but that's pretty good. It's just what we want so we're not missing anything, we're not leaving behind any stubble. At some point we do want to make sure that our contract work is well done. You know, for the reputation, of course. This field is big, but it's actually not that big. It doesn't take too terribly long to make one row here. Oops. I accidentally moved the wheel and it got us out of the steering mode. So. I need to find a good way to print nice looking labels with custom designs for this controller, because all the buttons on the controller, on the control panel, the Ori control panel, they're just numbered in different sizes, but I would love to put little icons on there for like the GPS toggle and raising and lowering instruments and cruise control and all that stuff. Not sure what I can do to get those printed out nicely. I know what happened last time. I hit the GPS button before the wheel got back to center, so the final bit of movement kicked it back out of the GPS mode. Now, if we wanted to be super efficient, we could let an AI worker do this, and we could start bailing. I don't know if I feel comfortable about that just yet, though. I have been playing around with the course play mod, which is like an enhanced version for AI, but I'm not sure if it's actually better or not. There's probably scenarios where the default AI just won't work as well, but I think for this field you probably do okay. But maybe we'll do a few more rows here using the GPS because it's working really well. Maybe we'll finish off this left side here of the field, so we'll do half of it ourselves, then we'll switch it over to an AI worker and we'll start bailing. We have lots of time, I think. It's still early in the morning, and I suppose we could save money by doing it ourselves like we are. So we'll see how we do time-wise here. While this is doing that, there's two things I want to look up. So, how can I keep the audio going in the background? An auto hotkey script? I don't know about that. That seems like overkill for what I'm trying to solve. I'm not sure why there's no option. I mean, I do appreciate that some people don't want the audio to keep playing when the game is not in the foreground. Maybe that's so that you don't get caught while you're at work. But I kind of want that because sometimes I'll alt-tab, especially here when I'm streaming, and then it cuts out the sound for you guys, which is not great. Most games give you the option. Maybe they'll take that into account for the next iteration of Farming Simulator. And then also, I want to invert the x-axis. Is there an option or mod? Apparently not, because I'm finding a 2-year-old Reddit post that has no answer for me. Well, no solution to both of those minor annoyances. Could be worse. Okay, yeah, I see what they've done. I'm starting to figure this out now. When you swing over your left shoulder, you get to see your character model. When you swing over your right shoulder, you do not. I guess that is a nice sort of way to balance it, depending on what you want. Do you want to look back and see yourself in the seat driving, or do you want to look behind you so that you can see what you're hooking up and stuff like that? Which is it's a slick solution, actually. Don't mind that at all. I do wish that some of these cameras like that were actually live and had real footage, you know, not just fake stats. That one has, I think it has some, it's got the speed on it, the RPM, so it has some real statistics. And there are a bunch of extra controls there with that stick. This is very similar to the control panel that comes with the Hori, like a joystick and a bunch of buttons. But again, not quite sure what, if anything, they do. I'm gonna have to. That is a future lesson for me to figure out. I'm excited to keep learning more. It's funny. It's similar in a way to how I got into Flight Simulator, where I really just wanted to learn more and do more advanced things as time went on. And this is similar. I want to. There's a lot in this game to do. There's a lot of things I don't know at all. There's a lot of things I want to learn and find out more about. And it'll take a little bit of time to do that, but it's a really chill game. And there's a little bit more to do. Like, I love doing Flight Simulator, but on streams it's not always the most interesting because there's a lot of sort of cruise time where there's not much to do. With this, even what we're doing here, which is somewhat on cruise control, there's more to do. And there's a bit of a variety, because the next thing we're going to do is not at all like mowing grass. It'll be like baling, so it'll be a bit different. I do wish that they did give us a windblower, because I feel like it could turn like 3 of these rows into one, so it would really make our time go much faster, but they didn't, and we don't have the money to spend on our own. So that's just not going to happen. I should double check though that they didn't give us one. I'm going to do that here as soon as we get to this end here and we turn around. I'm going to have a quick poke around at the map and see what other equipment they left us at the shop there, just in case that maybe there is one there. We could go grab it in the meantime. I don't think there was, but let's have a look. So all that stuff would be sitting over here. That's the wrapper. There's the to pick it up after. I think this was supposed to be to pick up the bales and take them somewhere. So yeah, I don't think we got one. I do wonder, just it will be interesting to find out in a moment here how smart or not smart the AI worker is as far as picking up just the little bits that are left up there. I think I'm going to finish the little bits that are left up there because I don't want to leave this to chance. I'll let the AI worker work that side of the field there, but I think I'll do this one myself. Let's pick this up so we can drive a bit faster. I can actually see the edge of the field just outside of the render distance, which is funny, but when there's grass, I can't really see it. Bit of a bumpy ride in this mower, that's for sure. I'll tell you what though, like, farm sim really makes time fly by. We're 75 minutes into the stream and it doesn't feel like that at all. To me, at least. Alright, I think we'll leave this little tiny bit of grass over here alone. It's not worth driving back up for. We're going to go down to the far end. We'll hire a worker and we'll see how that plays out, and then we'll go pick up the other tractor and the baler. We'll bring them down here. And we shall see if we can bale some of this stuff up while the AI keeps mowing. It should be able to, like, it should be able to recognize that all this stuff here has been mowed and just continue with the sections that we have not yet done. That's my hope anyway. We're going to see here in a second. We're just going to turn it around. Get it kind of lined up nicely for an AI worker and say go. That's not promising. Stop. What? Why? Maybe it might have been because I didn't lower it, but I feel like the worker should have done that. Okay, we're good. So, we'll grab... Which one do we want? We've got two choices here. We got this one and the yellow one. I think we'll go with the yellow one because it matches the... Well, we'll go with the fast track because it matches the baler. Right? That's how things work. Color coordinate? They parked them in a terrible spot. Right in front of this? Seriously? Come on now. Okay, so this is actually what's great, to look out the back, because you can see, and I kind of... It's a little bit sketchy because I keep having to move my head. That's not good enough? Come on. It was there a second ago. I saw it. Alright, good. Oh, we gotta drive all the way down there. We can at least start the process of baling. We're not going to get this field done, this contract done today. We'll have to continue into next week, but that's fine. It's actually not... I kind of like the idea of starting a contract in 1 week and continuing into the next one, because it kind of breaks it up. You don't just get to do one full thing in a given week. You do start one, finish it the next week, start another one. Kind of gives you a bit of variety. Oh, this thing really hauls 73 kilometers an hour. This thing's no joke. I didn't consider taking the front weight. I hope that's not going to bite us in the butt. Hopefully that will not be a problem. I do love the look of these fields. Like, this map is gorgeous. All these little hedgerows. Really nice. So, we're going to work the right side of the field away from the AI worker, just like we started, essentially. Let's have a quick look, though, at the AI worker and how it's doing. Seems to be doing a good job. Perfect. See, I think the thing is, if you get it nicely lined up for an AI worker with the GPS system, basically, it really makes a big difference. What is it doing now? I should have said anything. Why are you stuck on this, bro? You're gonna go that way? That's a choice. Oh, I see what you're doing. Alright. Fine. So, let's have a look and see what we need to do here. This is quite the beast. I love that. Swing around this way. Oh, yeah. Nice and clean. This is the before shot. Alright, what do we need? We can change the bale size. But, and I should have looked this up. I think we should just double check. The wrapper we have will have a size limit. It's the SW4010. Let's have a quick look at what that is like. The wrappers, that's bale loader, bale wrapper. SW4010. So it goes up to 220. Okay. So we got to make sure we change the bale size. It was already set to 220, but I just wanted to make sure. We got to lower the pickup. We need to turn it on. But I think... Oh, engine unfolded. Okay. Oh, I think this will automatically drop it too at the end, yeah? So, the pickup's down, so as long as I drive over this grass, it should start picking up grass. Yes, it is. I'm going to ignore the screwed up lines from earlier. We're just going to focus on the straight ones. It's pretty good, and I believe we'll see what happens when we're at 100%. We're down to 90. Okay, it just keeps going. Excellent. And I think it's just going to start pushing... There's our grass bale. It's going to keep getting pushed out the back until it drops it, and then later we're going to pick it up and wrap it, I think on the same machine, and then we're going to have to pick it up and transport it. And I do wish that they would have given us a trailer for that. It looks like we're going to have to use the bale pickup to not only pick up the wrap bales but also transport them. That does feel a little bit like it's going to be a next week problem. We'll see. There goes the bale. Just drop down nicely at an angle to make my life more difficult later. Excellent. This is actually pretty good. The baling I did with hay, with a wheat field on my other farm, was much smaller in size because I only had a baler that made like these little tiny bales. This one is significantly, at least an upgrade over that already. So we're just going to do every second row here because it makes it a bit easier. Where's the AI? It's still doing stuff. All right, it changed the pattern, but it's okay. It found its own way. I think where it got confused was because it was at a bit of an angle. Like the AI works best when things are just straight lines, rectangles. Of course, not all the fields are like that. So I probably should have cleaned up all the sides and just left a nice rectangular pattern for the AI worker. I'll keep that in mind for the future. It will make things a little bit easier. Oops. Oh, no. Lost concentration there for a moment. I was going to say, I think the AI thinks he's done, but he's not. He just moved over towards the next section of the field. So that actually seems to be working out pretty well. It's always a bit hard to tell. I wish you could increase the render distance a bit more beyond the maximum levels that are available in the settings. I wonder if there is a mod that lets you do that. Just because you can see where, you know, in the distance things are slowly starting to render in, and I feel like I've got some more GPU power. Increased draw distance. That's what we go. I guess there is a way to do that by editing an XML file. It sounds like it created problems. Maybe we'll just leave it alone. These bales are reasonably far spaced apart, but we should have a fairly easy time picking them up later. Apparently there are some balers like this that also have a wrapper at the end, so it would automatically wrap them. That would have been super nice for this, but we'll take what we can get. This is still pretty good equipment to work with. Plus, this is a pretty lucrative contract. Should net about 50,000, so if we're lucky next week and we manage to do another good one, within a couple of weeks here, we should be able to buy our own farmland. Own farm is really what I'm after. I want a place to park. You know, we don't technically need a farm for anything. It'd be nice to have some storage. We have one field of our own. We could technically lease some equipment or buy some equipment and just park on the side of the road, but I would love to actually have, you know, a proper place to put things. And I did take a quick look around that farm that is for sale. It's the cheapest of the three. I believe there's 3 farms on this map that you can buy. So that's the cheapest one, so the one that we can most easily attain. Don't remember if it has any livestock pens or something. We could always buy those ourselves if we want to in the future, though. But it's got a couple nice sheds to store equipment in. Plus, it's right next to the field we already own, and it comes with 1 or 2 other fields, so it makes sense, I think. It's kind of like the de facto starting farm, even though it's not a starting farm. quick look at our contract here. We should still be making progress on that. Yeah, 20%. Oh, the reward went up. Oh, okay, good. So the little change I made actually applied the extra 30 or 40%. That's good. That's good. That'll help us. We're only playing this once a week, maybe less at some point when we head back into DayZ for some reason. So, you know, got to make the most out of it. 2 hours a week with regular contracts is going to take forever to get anything accomplished, so take whatever help we can get. Probably could have started bailing a little bit earlier and just let the AI do more work, but again, learning every day. Starting to take on the look of an actual mowed and baled field. I think our AI worker is finished. Right? Yeah, he is. Good. Let's just clean this up real quick and move this to the side. I don't think AI workers are particularly good at bailing. Yeah, because it's not an automatic, so you can't really use an AI worker. I think that's what one of the things Courseplay does relatively well, but I kind of get the basic gist of how that works, but I feel like I still have a lot to learn with actually making that work, being productive with it, so I'm going to leave it alone. We'll just do this part here ourselves. We'll just use the standard AI workers for the real easy stuff going forward. Squires, how are you doing? There is a round bale machine, there is, yes. But we don't have one of those for this contract. There are different size bales and then round and rectangular, so We're dealing with the rectangular ones because that's what we got to borrow from the person who owns this field, whose contract we are currently doing. But it's kind of cool. There's different sizes too. So this is, what is this? This was 220 centimeters, so 2 meters, 20 centimeters. You don't like the square crops? Oh, square poops. Yeah. I feel like round ones are worse because they roll away. So the real interesting thing is going to be probably next week. It's probably going to be next week by the time we get to it. It's actually wrapping these up, picking them up and wrapping them up. So, though I think I will, in about 10 minutes or so, I'll go grab the wrapper and we'll bring it down here. And we'll at least give it a try so we know what to expect for next week. And if it's super boring, one thing I might do is I might actually do the wrapping before the next stream so we can do something more exciting. Our goal is to make it to around $220,000, $250,000 so we can buy our own little farmhouse and actually have a place to store all the equipment that we don't yet own. But that's my plan. May not be the best plan, but it is the plan. I'm also not being as meticulous as I would usually be on a field because it's just a contract. We have to only get like 94% of it done. We're not doing too bad. We've almost got half the field baled. I probably will do a little bit of work between the end of today's stream and next week's stream so that it's not just going to be a full hour of more baling followed by a full hour of wrapping. We can kind of mix it up a little bit. Plus, it will give me a reason to do some farming on the weekend. Not that I need one. I also just realized, Axeman, I misread what you said. I thought you said you don't like the square poops. You said you do like the square poops, and I agree with you. I think they are actually easier to manage because the round ones will roll. I mean, this field it's got a bit of a slope to it. They'll roll, and picking them up is more difficult too. Yeah. You know, the birds are like a really nice touch, especially when they're coming out of like a hay field, a wheat field, a grain field of some kind that you're harvesting. I've yet to catch one though. They just look at these guys, like they'll just, even if I aim for them, trust me, they're just gonna fly away right as I get there. But it actually is really neat. It's a nice little effect. Oh, the AI actually made a nice little pattern there on the right side at an angle. Yeah, we're not moving particularly fast here, are we? 17 whole kilometers an hour. But this is a pretty chunky machine that we're pulling, so not surprised. It picks it up, it compacts it, bales it, bundles it all up neatly together, spits it out the back. It's funny, Bert's running at a higher frame rate. That's a funny comment because this game uses DLSS, and I tried turning it off because sometimes what you'll see is you will see birds fly right by the camera and they will just be a blur because of the DLSS. But the performance gain is huge. I tried turning it off and switching to TAA, and it was just awful performance. Awful, awful, awful. So DLSS definitely the way to go. Oh, hold on a minute. I forgot to turn this thing off. I did. I just left it idling. That's not cool. Sit inside the cabin for a little bit. It's actually bumpy in here. On the side display, this thing, I think that's just a static display. I don't think that actually... Some of them are just for show. Some of them, like the one in the center, even it has some functionality, like it shows speed and things, but that one there is just for show, I'm pretty sure. There's some neat add-ons that I want to explore one of these days, where we'll actually make some of those things functional to the point where you can click on them and they can actually... You know, they actually have some real purpose and functionality as they would in real life. I was reading a topic today on Reddit about what people want for Farm Simulator 25, which is rumored to be announced sometime this summer at FarmCom 24. And one of the things was having like actual support built into the game for like external devices or for some of these dashboards, which would actually be kind of cool. I've built myself a little bit of a sim cockpit, as I'm known to do. So I'm using a wheel, I'm using pedals, I'm using a joystick, I'm using a button box. Could I add a tablet with stuff on it if it's functional? I could. I don't think I would, because this is not a permanent setup, but I could certainly see for people who are really into it, like I am with Flight Sim. Yes, Giant Software, give us more fully functional things, please. But the cab is pretty cool, so I'm using track IR to move around. Oh, there's a nice sunroof. The tracking gets a little bit cranky when I move my head too much. But it's a nice looking tractor. I quite like it. I hadn't driven this one before. It's also quite powerful. It's quite strong. Looks nice. I love the yellow. I'm a big fan of yellow. Yellow tools, yellow construction vehicles, you know. Okay, this is actually, here's a good place. I'm going to, perfect, that just pooped out. Okay, we're going to stop here for a moment. We're going to turn things off. Let's unload. Poop these things out. Oh boy, that one's standing upright. I'm sure that's going to be problematic later. fold this thing up, and we will turn the engine off and hop over magically to the other tractor. Look how dirty this thing got. Holy crap. It's a good thing that's not ours. Okay, here's our John Deere 6230R. There's the wrapper. So we're going to go hook up to the wrapper and we're going to drive it down. And we're going to see... we're going to see how this works. I don't actually know. How do you get... Let's see. I wonder if we made a terrible mistake. I don't know. That wouldn't have attached to the back of the... that would not have attached to the back of this thing? No. No, for sure. Okay. So, but I'm not sure if what the process is for actually getting things into that wrapper. So, we're going to have to... I do want to figure that out before the end of this stream today. And then the rest we can continue next week. And I can make a bit more progress. I can do some of the actual bailing while everybody goes about their weekly business. So let's just see. Unfold. I can just try this here. Unfold the wrapper. Okay, so... that now it makes sense. So we're going to pick them up inside that. And... okay, let's try that out because I'm curious as to exactly how that is going to work. And how easy it is. Do we have to like pick one up, wait for it to wrap? Can we drive up to the next one? I just want to get a sense of just how much work this is going to be, because if it's going to be about 3 hours to wrap all the bales, then I'll spare you that from the next 2 weeks of ShackStream. I'll do some of that offline. See this one, there's a good example. It's got a really cool display. Tractor main page. It's a whole dashboard, but it's completely... it has some information that's being displayed that is actually accurate, but it's really just the speed and your RPM, I think. All the other stuff is just static. And so there are some mods, or one in particular, that makes that function. I don't know what that is. Yeah, maybe. Look at this, another one, yellow, white. There are... it's probably the typical video game car, right? It's not quite a brand name. It's a Murducken, or a BMX, or a BMV. So yeah, so there are mods to make these dashboards, these displays functional. But from my quick glance at it, it's not as easy as plug and play, and I also really don't even know what that it does. So if that was all functional, I wouldn't even know where to start. That might be a future thing. I certainly do love the idea of making that actually function, but that would really have to be like on an external iPad. I don't think I'd want to like use a mouse cursor to click on that to make it do things. I could just push a button on my hardware then. But if I could pop that out onto a tablet that I could mount here, that might be kind of cool. Or at least I could certainly see myself and other crazy people like me having fun with that. This is a real location. This is a custom map called Attingham Park, based on a real world location by the same name in the UK. So it's not part of the core game, but it is a free map that's available on PC and I believe on console. And there are tons of maps. It's amazing. The mod community for this game is huge. So let's okay. So let's try this. So we're going to unfold. And this is going to be an exercise in... it's going to take me a while to get all this sort of spacing and everything correct in the camera and line so that I can actually pick this up. Let's see how sensitive it is to... okay, it's not too bad. And I can drive while it's wrapping. That's good. That's so cool. And does it poop it out itself? It doesn't look like it. I think I have to manually push a button to do that. Let's see what happens when I drive up to this one. I just push it around. So we dump it out. Okay, that makes sense. Now, will it take it sideways? Yes, thank you, game. I do like that there's some video game things where it's just like you clearly haven't lined this up properly. It'll still let you do it. I thought there was a mod that would save me from having to push a button to dump these. I may look at that because that would make it a bit faster too. You know, picking these up is pretty easy. But auto unload or something like that, I think it was called. Automatic unload for bale wrappers, version 2.1. I think I might do that because it'll just save a little bit of time from having to do this. But okay, so this does confirm to me that if I were to just, oh boy, there we go. If I were to just be wrapping next stream, we'd have a whole stream of just me wrapping bales, which is probably not as exciting as it could be. Not that baling itself was all that exciting to begin with, but so I'll do some of that and I'll leave the rest of it so we can finish that next week. Come on, be a video game. There we go. It is pretty cool though. I do quite like this, so I'm going to spend some time getting things to, I don't know, 90%, 80% done, because we're also going to have to pick all these things up and transport them to the biogas plant, I think, in order to complete the contract. So there's a lot of work left to do, and they did not give us a very large trailer at all. I think we can pick up maybe 10 to 15 of these in one go, so it's going to be a lot of work to pick them up again, because we're going to have to get the other trailer and we're going to have to pick them up, load them into that, and then we're going to have to drop them off. So if I don't do some homework, it's just going to be like a month's worth of baling one field, which honestly I'm fine with, but I think maybe a little bit of variety is not a bad idea. Hi, Lily Cat. My cat has come down to remind me that the stream's almost over and she wants attention upstairs, please. They do look nice though, don't they? The white bales on the field here? That looks like progress to me. It does seem wasteful, Squires, but what they do with this, so they wrap it so that it can ferment in here. So even in the game, you can then store this for 1 to 3 months or something, and it will turn into silage, which is then used, I believe, for animal feed. And the wrapping, I think, is an integral part of that process to turn it into silage. Plus, then when it's smaller, right? It's kind of like you wrapping like food in portions. So when they then open this up to feed various animals with it, you just cut open like one of these wrapped bales, and you know, if you have a giant one, of course, it depends on what size you need. But this is also a smaller baler. There are bigger ones, I think. There are ones that will pick up, create the bales, and wrap all in one smooth motion, like all in one machine, so that you really only have to pick up and then pick up after to transport the wrap bales. But this is amateur hour a little bit for us here. We're doing. It's not a bad contract actually. The baler is pretty good, the one that they gave us for this contract. But yeah, there's definitely some manual steps involved here still. But it pays pretty well, and it's not a bad place to start. It's kind of like you got to know how the little manual, small things work before you get into like some giant machine that does it all for you. I've got a cat in the cabin with me now, running around the pedals. Well, running is an overstatement. She's a very, very old cat. She walks very slowly. I probably could be dropping these a little bit more strategically so that they're easier to pick up later, but can't be bothered by that right now. So I think we've got a few minutes. We're going to pick up these over here that are kind of in the way of all the other equipment. Oh, no, I don't think I'll get to go this one. Oh, that's wrong. Yeah, since I can drive, right? I could be placing them like nicely lined up or something. I should definitely not put them on top of rows of grass that I still need to get, so that would be very foolish. I do want to get rid of these guys down here though, because they're kind of in the way. The good thing is I can pick it up, drive it out of the way while it's wrapping. Thanks, Squires. Have a good night. Thanks for coming by. Oh, this is going to be tricky. Yeah, I might do that with some of the other ones. Though honestly, it depends on. I'm not sure how good the pickup is. Some of the pickups, it actually just takes a little bit of time to lift them up. So having more space between them is actually a good thing. Boy, I sure can back up with this. This thing is really difficult to back up with because it's not centered on the back of your tractor. That's really, really awkward. Okay, let's just do this. Bit of brute force. There we go. Yeah, away from the edges is good. Having them too close to each other is bad. Because it just does make it more difficult. So, you know, I should probably just drop this one like in the center here, away from the others. It just makes maneuvering around and picking it up later much easier. I don't know if I can grab that one. I think if I go this way, I might be able to get it. It's also standing upright. I mean, I could just move the yellow monster there, but I don't want to. Are you going to pick it up like this? Yay! Pretend that didn't happen. Alright, I'm going to drop this right here, and like I said, I'm going to do some homework on this field over the next week. Mostly going to be doing this and picking up It's not too many rows of grass left, a few to bale. Obviously, lots of green bales left to wrap. And then we're going to have to... I think I can... Can I walk there from here? I think this is close. Isn't it? Yeah. So we've got a pickup / trailer, so we're going to have to come back here. I don't know what that thing is. I don't think that's an actual thing. I think it's just decoration. Yeah, it's just decoration. But we do have this. So this is our trailer. To pick it up, this thing folds down to the side. We then, you know, aim that at the bales. It pops them up here. And I don't know how many it can hold. Actually, we can probably find out. What is this? An RQ-Syn FSX 3772. 6372. It's this one right here. It can hold 14 bales. Yeah, that's what I guessed. So how many bales do we think we have on this field? 4, 5, 7. There's probably 15 or it's probably 16 to 18 currently wrapped. So that's 1 load, 2 loads. We probably got like 5 to 6 loads. Yeah. 5 to 6 loads that we need to get. So that's going to take a bit of time as well. So I'll do a bunch of homework, get things ready for next week so that we can wrap a few more and deliver them and get paid. So thanks, folks, for hanging out. Thanks, Axeman, for the conversation. I appreciate it. Hope you have a wonderful week. And take care of yourselves. I'll catch you guys all in a week from now, next Thursday, 7 p.m. Don't forget to check out shacknews.com. And keep an eye out. It's not going to be this next week. It'll probably be in about 2 to 3 weeks or so. I'll be writing a review for the Hori Farm Vehicle Control System, which is a wheel, pedals, joystick whole setup that I'm using for this. And I'm really having a lot of fun with it. So I'll catch you all soon. Take care of yourselves. Bye-bye, folks.